Worldstar at one point was the pinnacle of rap media. They hosted most of the viral content and 99% of the hits that was dropped of their time. But nowadays it's almost like a tabloid you'd find in a grocery store. But how did we get here? The creator of Worldstar, Lee Q O'Donnett, born in Queens, was a part of the hip-hop from early on in his career, even spending some time with G-Unit while they were on their tour in 2003. He loved the more messy parts of the industry though. He was even part of the early mixtape wave when it had hit the internet. He was running his own website at the time, which actually would be short-lived as it would be raided by and attacked by hackers. At the time, the internet was way different than it is nowadays. It was like the Wild Wild West back then. He would take some time off the internet, as well as the mixtape scene was becoming super saturated and it was harder to make money nowadays. But something was taking place during this time that really caught the eye of Q. A billion-dollar corporation by the name of Google was partnering up with YouTube, and this was such a monumental deal. He really understood what this really meant though, and that was that video was gonna be the future. So in 2008, he would officially create Worldstar that we know today. Starting off with just a website, he wanted to be basically the hood adjacent to YouTube. The videos that would instantly get cleaned out of YouTube's page would be super safe on Worldstar. From brutal fights to rappers being exposed to even twerk videos. They had all you need when it came to the wild side of the internet. They really kept an early internet vibe with it. It really showed itself with the cringe clickbait and the page covered in ads. Fights became somewhat of a cornerstone for Worldstar and the platform, and one weird thing would take place. It became almost a meme to yell out Worldstar. If you heard this during a fight, you better fight for your life, because if not, you may be watched by a couple million or a couple 100,000 people might watch you get beat up. It was insane how successful Worldstar was at this time. They could pull hundreds of millions of views a month. They were even beating out some of the biggest corporations like CBS and Fox News. But with this much love comes with some hate. Worldstar had a lot of that too. It was very controversial. And with people seeing Worldstar all over social medias with their watermark content, they're one of the first people to actually successfully do that. They would basically connect all the wild content to the Worldstar brand. This wouldn't stop any, as Q would still get many offers of tens of millions of dollars in investments. But Q really believed in ownership and he saw a bigger picture. He didn't want to just sell out. And with the offering of his promotional packages for his social media pages, he was eating very good. At one point even charging close to $5,000 to get your music video exclusively featured on Worldstar with their watermark. This even helped break some of the biggest artists of nowadays. Even though some may have fell off, it definitely was a time where you had to go through Worldstar for your video to really go up. This even led him to working with some bigger artists, even one by the name of Rick Ross. He would get into promoting some of his music and antics, including a 50 Cent diss song, which 50 Cent really took personally, as a lot of people did confuse that they felt like 50 Cent had some type of affiliation with Worldstar, as 50 Cent would be featured on a banner on the website for a very long time. Q would end up getting slapped with a lawsuit by 50 Cent for using his likeness. Which he eventually settled outside of court, and they even were able to patch up their beef. 50 would still send some shots claiming that Worldstar had fake views. Also around this time, Q would appear on a lot of interviews, and one thing was constant at this time. He had to defend Worldstar, his life depended on it. What he built and now had ran at that time, he would stand on it though. He chose to not go the squeaky clean route, and that's what he was going to stick to. Q is big on freedom of speech, so when an 8-year-old had a 9-minute video explaining how he wanted President George Bush to die, this caused him to get even attacked by Fox News. This was a really big deal. This was one of the early stages of being canceled. He'd be ridiculed for letting kids on his site and hosting wild content for them to see. His page knew no bounds, so even when rappers started getting exposed by the lady named Kat Stacks, She would famously even expose Soulja Boy for messing with his nose, which actually eventually turned out to be fake. She would also do some interviews exposing the fact that Q would pay to make up certain dramas and content. A big problem around this time was a lot of people felt like Q was killing the rap scene and changing it. And also, people were not really feeling the fact that he was known for exploiting rappers' deaths. He wasn't deaf to this though. He would be different, as before his death, he would transition into another thing he had a big passion for, and that was making documentaries. Which, in my opinion, he made some pretty amazing documentaries towards the end of his life. I really wish he would have got a chance to make some more content like that. I think it really would have changed a lot of stuff. But sadly, in 2017, Q would be found passed away in a massage parlor. They basically did an autopsy on the body, finding out that he had late stages of heart disease, and there was a lot of plaque around his heart, which caused problems with his heart. One thing was prevalent around this time, and it just seemed like Worldstar had just stopped growing and changed after the passing of Q. What made them Worldstar, it kind of seemed like it was just sold out, which ended up actually happening. Worldstar would be bought out by a company named Media Lab. They're basically known for keeping the old social media that pretty much died alive, including apps like Kick and others. And around this time, it was just a turn of an era. You had a lot of different blogs coming up at this time. You had Say Cheese and other rap platforms that were blowing up. So the aspect of the aspect of Worldstar being something unique and something different, it died out a long time, or it died out right about that time. Other blogs were really taking over and actually doing a lot more for artists in the sense of getting a lot more bang for their buck when it came to promotion and other things. So they would end up just going different routes. Nowadays, Worldstar is just one of those sites where it seems like it's just a cash grab, and people can see that it's really lost a lot of its love and aspects of how it got big. But this is a story of Worldstar's rise and inevitable fall. This is definitely a wild one. I had some pretty good time researching this, as I was a big Worldstar user back in the day. A lot of fights and a lot of different wild stuff I watched on that website. Definitely was a little too early to see it, but it just made me who I am nowadays. I probably wouldn't even make content if it wasn't for Worldstar and platforms like it. Long live Q. Definitely one of the pioneers when it comes to the scene we see nowadays. Hate him or love him, you gotta at least give him his flowers when it comes to that. But yeah, this was definitely one of the better videos. I really did enjoy making this one. Let me know what y'all really think about this video. Y'all be smooth. I will see y'all in the next video. And make sure y'all drop some comments of what y'all want to see. We definitely got this Babyface E video coming very soon.